Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
BBN Network, Jack Frost. Give me 1 minute. I'm responding back to somebody real quick. I'm going to tell you what I'm responding back to. Here we go, get the show on. Just give me 1 minute. I'm not whining, saying fact, saying my opinion, which you are complaining over. Which makes you the whiner. So real quick, before we get to the actual show today, I'm just going to tell y'all what I was just texting about since it just interfered with the beginning of what we're doing. So y'all know Man of Steel. So Man of Steel is, in my opinion, not Superman lore accurate. And I've been saying that since the movie came out. The new movie that came out is actually Superman lore accurate. Superman is not meant to be serious. Superman is meant to be not comical, but comic booky to a degree because Superman represents a thing. It's not about Superman being the strongest. It's not about him being able to overpower the adversary. It's about the complexities of how he uses his strength and how much of his strength he should use to protect those that need protection. Because if you do too much protecting, then people forget how to protect themselves. So Superman is an allegory for so many different things. And the Man of Steel movie got that completely wrong. Where it might have got a lot of different aspects correctly, it got that completely wrong. Anyway, so forget about that. I said what I had to say to that guy. Just people don't know what they're talking about. With that being said, let's get to the show. As everybody knows, on I forget what day it was, but just recently, the other day, we had two National Guard members that were shot. One is been reportedly unalived. I've been hearing reports that both of them are currently unalived, but one of them has been unalived. The lady, I'm sorry, her name is. She's a West Virginia. She was from Virginia, West Virginia National Guard member. Her name was Sarah Beckstrom. She has been reportedly. She is report. What up, Juno? Salute. She is. Yo, Tuesday was my birthday, fam. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday was my birthday, fam. Salute. So I want to say this, and I want to be clear about this, and I don't want there to be no misunderstanding about the whole National Guard situation. American citizens that are actively out there trying to prevent ICE or any government agency from doing their job, that's treasonous because of the job that they're currently doing, which is protecting our nation by getting people who don't belong here out of the nation. Now, also with that being clear, you guys can't tell the difference between ICE agents. You guys can't tell the difference between National Guards. You guys can't tell the difference between anybody except for whoever your local police or sheriffs is and whatever. That's it. You can't tell the difference between no one. You don't know why these people are out there, who they're arresting, or why they're arresting. Now, I want to put y'all on the game since everybody is slow. Not everybody, obviously. But there are a large percentage of people in America that is slow. They're going after illegals. But what they're actually after is breaking up the human trafficking rings. I want y'all to pay attention to where Trump sent them first. What up, Big Yoke? I want you to pay attention to where Trump sent them first. He first sent them to D.C. For everybody that don't know, that whole DMV area has a problem with black kids coming up missing. See, this be the issue that I have when I'm trying to have these conversations with people who are who are liberals, especially when they fall on the left. Because what they're going to do is when you try to explain all of these black babies is coming up missing, they're not going to want to discuss that. They're going to immediately try to branch you off to something else that they believe that they are in the right about. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to totally not care about none of those black kids that come up missing because it does not help their narrative. I'm going to say that again. They are going to completely not care about these black kids coming up missing. I'm going to say this again. One of the biggest areas in America, the United States of America, where our kids are coming up missing is the DMV. Where did Trump send them first? DC. Where did Trump send them second? Memphis. Guess what else Memphis? Guess what Memphis is known for? Exactly. So Trump has been sending the National Guard and ICE specifically to places where human trafficking is rampant. Now, y'all do know what ICE's actual job is, right? Finding human trafficking victims. That's ICE's actual job. So when Trump says, I'm sending ICE to your neighborhoods, what idiots here is, he's getting the illegals out of here. What people that are paying attention here is, and it could be idiots on either side, whether they're for migrants leaving or against migrants leaving. All they hear is immigrants, illegals. ICE takes care of human trafficking. That's their job. So why would you send human trafficking after immigrants? Could we talk about Europe for 1 second? I just want to talk about Europe for 1 second. So in Europe, they have these things called grape gangs. Guess who is the people who are the individuals that run these grape gangs? Allegedly. Muslims. And basically what they do is they find a girl or two, they drug her, and then they take advantage of her for multiple days. And then when she complains about it, she gets in trouble by the government. They don't even go after the gangs. And so this has been going on for decades. Like, this is a thing over there now that they're finally talking about. Now, with that being said, obviously, I'm not talking about all Muslims. We're not doing that. We're not talking about all Arab people. We aren't doing that. We're only talking about the individuals who are involved in these type of situations. And just so we can be clear, we're talking about a specific demographic that is doing these specific incidents at this moment, because that demographic is tied to the discussion that we're having. So saying other people do it also, yeah, we're not saying that they don't. But in this particular instance and in this particular case, we're talking about the demographic who is being said to be involved. So the man that has been arrested for the shooting in DC is Muslim. He's Afghani. He was allowed in under Biden. He was unvetted. What up, First Property Investment? Salute. He was unvetted. He's the exact type of person that the liberal is fighting to keep in the country. Remember, the liberals aren't actually fighting to keep honest individuals in the country. The liberals are fighting to keep everyone in the country that the government wants to remove. I'm going to say that again. The liberals aren't fighting to keep honest, hard-working illegals in the country. The liberals are fighting to keep everyone in the country that is here illegally. You see, if they were only fighting to keep the illegals in the country, pardon me, if they were only fighting to keep the hard-working people in the country, they would be able to win that fight. I'm going to say that again. Take this wallet out of my back pocket because I don't think y'all get it. If they were only fighting to keep the hard-working illegals in the country, they would win that fight. You're asking me how? They would have never opened the borders the way that they did. You get it? I think Trump and his administration needs to start arresting politicians. I think that they need to go over all of the politicians that were calling negativity down on ice, and they need to figure out and find out a way to hold them in some way accountable, even if it's a misdemeanor. Every last one of those politicians. You cannot be a politician and complain about the soldier that is doing the order that he was given that is constitutional. Because the soldiers just following orders. The order was constitutional. Your fight is not with the soldier. Your fight is with your disagreement with the order, which is constitutional. You're a politician. If you don't like the orders that are constitutional, then you need to figure out how in politics, by using your political platform to oppose said orders which are currently constitutional. You cannot attack the soldier. They have Brandon Johnson, the Chicago mayor, constantly talking about how the police is evil, putting people in jail is evil, it's racist. Why do you have security, sir? I don't care the number. They said the number's like 150. I don't care about the number. Why do you have any security? Like any. One, you believe Chicago's is safe. And two, you believe that the police are the actual problem. So why would you have security? And if you were to have security, shouldn't you have security against the police? Because the police are the problem, not the criminals. Right? So Nancy Pelosi says it's the rich fat cats who are the problem. She's worth like over $144 million. Why doesn't she do charity? She doesn't do charity. Why isn't she giving out donations everywhere, left and right? Why doesn't she have organizations, at least in her hometown city or her home state with California? She should have multiple organizations to help women and children, because she said Trump hate them, right? And not just organizations that's collecting money, but where she is the primary donator, right? Where she says, you know what? I'm a 144 million. I'm going to open up this organization, and to make sure that we're always running and everything's always good, I'm going to guarantee them $2 million a year. If nothing else, that's going to keep them funded and running until they could get more funding from somewhere, right? And I'm Nancy Pelosi. If my name is on something, I'm a U.S. Senator. There's going to be people that's going to want to donate. But senators aren't allowed to do that, right? Are they? But they are allowed to donate. So she could just go find something else that was currently already going on and donate, can't she? She's worth like 144 million. How about Robert De Niro that was coming out talking crazy? I don't want to hear not another rich person talk about the poor that ain't doing shit like Trump. I'm going to tell y'all what Trump did. One of the things, lady living in his building, was homeless, black lady. The building found out she was living there for X amount of years, or however long she was living there. They was about to throw her out. Trump gets word of it. Trump said, nah, just let her stay there indefinitely. He racist, though. He racist, though. And apparently, he said it without a thought. Like it wasn't even, let me sit on this and think about what we should do. It was she need a place to stay. We don't care about that damn unit. We making enough money with the rest of the building. She needs somewhere to stay. What are we going to do? Make her homeless? Is she causing the problem? She's not causing the problem? Why are we kicking out? Let's make sure nothing like this happens again. But she's already beat the system. Leave her be. He's probably bumped into her and spoken to her and didn't even know her situation. Be kind, folks. Be kind out here. You don't never know who a person know. You don't never know. You just never know. I had people reach out to me about wanting to. I'm not even going to say it because I'm not even going to say it. But you never know who a person know. You never know who a person know that might want to get involved in something that you're doing. You just never know. Sometimes people call you up with a cold call like, yo, do you know this individual? And the love you show in that moment or not is depending on if they're going to show up for you and what you do. You know? Sometimes that happens. People call you. And then they'll talk to you about, yo, what y'all do over there, yada, yada. And then they'll say they know a person. And depending on the way you either appreciate that individual or act like, nah, we don't really know that person. He just be hanging around here sometime. Is depending on if that person is going to extend that love to you. Now, I say this knowing that there's at least one person I know of that's done messed up that own situation for them. That don't got nothing to do with me. But I know at least one person that screwed up a situation like that. I'm just going to throw that out there. You don't never know who a person know, fam. And while you think everybody dislike a person, you'll be surprised at how many influential people and people in a good spot in the world love a person. You'll be surprised. Totally flip your brain. Be like, I never knew that person. Yeah, you didn't give him a chance. You should have gave him a chance. A real chance. Not one of them fake chances. You should have gave him a chance. Let's get back to what we talk about. So when I hear these politicians speak down on any armed forces, I think that's sucker behavior. Because y'all talk tough because you know the police can't do nothing. That's why y'all talk tough. Whenever somebody feel like you can't do nothing, that you gotta just accept their abuse, they talk to you crazy. That's the number one reason why I just stopped talking to people. Because they don't care. They like the disrespectful back and forth. I don't. So they want me to say something to them so they can argue with me. I don't want to argue. So I didn't know I'd never talk to your ass. In any regard, these politicians need to be held accountable. That whole seditious six, please, I want all of their information of any kind that could be, it's supposed to be public information anyway, right? So make all of their arrest records and everything public information. Because they political figure. That's why it's supposed to be public information. We elected them and voted for them. That's not stuff that they could hide. You understand what I'm saying? Just like their IRS and tax returns and all that type of stuff. That's all supposed to be public information for us because they're elected officials. I know I'm saying that, but you're going to hear somebody say, look, why isn't your stuff supposed to be public information too? Like, because they're an elected official. I'm just a dude on the internet. Yeah, but that don't matter. But it's law. But you see how hard it is to argue with somebody that they don't know nothing about nothing. You understand what I'm saying? They just gonna, whenever you say something, they just gonna ask a question back to you. Because they don't know nothing. So they can't give you a response to anything. All they could do is ask questions. They don't have no other capability. They're not even intelligent enough to do more than that. They're talking about stuff above their weight class. Alright? So there's they ask questions so I can get clarity. I want to know exactly what you're saying. So I'm asking questions. That's great. Because we're making steps. I'm understanding, if you're asking a question to me, I'm understanding where the misunderstanding could be, and you're getting better clarity of my intent. So that's great. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when people just start asking random questions that really don't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Well, then why is this happening? Fam, that don't got nothing to do with what we talking about. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. You know it doesn't. Now I understand your level of intellect, and I realize I shouldn't even be in this conversation. Let's get back to what we're doing. All right, so, and I want to be clear about this. I want every last politician, and it's going to be slow. Look, I'm going to explain to you what I believe is going to happen real quick. Pay attention. Everything that dropped in this Epstein is bad for the Democrats. There's nothing at all that dropped in this Epstein stuff that is good for the Democrats. Nothing. Every single thing that has came out so far regarding the Epstein files is a black mark on the Democrats. Even though they're trying to say, but you didn't hear everything yet. Yeah, but everything didn't come out. Yeah, but there's stuff you don't know about. You're just praying that you could keep saying there's more to come out and people will not pay attention to the shit that has already came out. We have Minority Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, and his team trying to get money out of Jeffrey Epstein after it was already found out that he touches little kids. And that was the thing. After. See, that's the part that they failed to tell you. That's the part. That's the part. I was kicking somebody. That's the part that they failed to tell you. That part. So that's why I listen. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can just say stuff to confuse a conversation. That does not take intelligence at all. And a fool is going to tell you it does, because that's what a fool does. A fool can't have an intelligent conversation. You think, hold on, let me explain something real quick. You think if me and you were busy talking about, I don't know, the MCU, right? Me and you, we seen every MCU movie, absolutely every MCU movie from beginning to end, right? Or every movie, at least twice. So at least 3 times. We're well versed. And so we're having a conversation about the MCU. And so another party comes in, and because they saw the trailers, they believe that they can also have this conversation at the same level that me and you can. So that's how idiots are. They heard somebody talk about something they really didn't really get but so much because they couldn't, because it was just an cursory conversation that they came upon. But now in their mind, they're geniuses on said subject. So that's why they just keep asking questions. They have no actual foundation that they stand on to do anything else other than ask questions. But the issue is they're not asking questions to get information. They're asking questions to try to cause more confusion. Now think about a conversation that you have with the Democrats in politics. Any conversation. Think about the last time you had a conversation with a liberal in politics and they did not use that tactic. Now, I don't blame the voting public, just so we can be clear. I mean, I wish people could be a little bit more cognizant of what's going on, but I don't blame the voting public. I blame the elected officials. Y'all elected officials that y'all want to believe in. I get it. Y'all want to believe in. But y'all elected officials, just so we can be clear, they're just telling you guys lies, and they're jumping from one lie to the next lie, to the next lie, to the next lie, to the next lie. And the greatest thing that the Republicans did was let that Epstein shit sit. What did I used to tell y'all like 4 or 5 years ago all the time? You have to let the lie live. Because the person that was lied to and really believed the lie, if you don't let it live long enough, they're not going to be as upset at being lied at as they should. You understand? Because it was a quick turnover, so they just going to move on to the next thing. But when you let the lie live, and that honest, good-hearted person that been running around spewing that freaking lie for the last 3 months, looking like a complete idiot, now when they find out the truth, so we had a National Guard woman lose her life. Her name was Sarah Beckstrom. She was one of 2 West Virginia National Guard members wounded in a targeting shooting near the White House on Wednesday. She's passed away. Trump made the announcement as he made calls to the U.S. military on Thanksgiving. Beckstrom, 20, was a highly respected, young, magnificent person, Trump said. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It just happened. The other wounded National Guard member, Andrew Wolf, 24, remains in critical condition. The other young man is fighting for his life, Trump said. He's in a very bad shape. He's fighting for his life. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, the top federal prosecutor for the nation's capital, posted a statement on social media following Trump's announcement. Our hearts and prayers go out to the family of the 20-year-old Sarah Beckstrom of the National Guard, a hero who volunteered to serve D.C. on Thanksgiving for people she never met and gave the ultimate sacrifice, Perot said in the post. May she rest in peace. Now it is time to avenge her death and secure justice. Earlier Thursday, federal officials revealed some details about the attack and the suspected shooter. The shooting took place around 2:15 p.m. on Wednesday near the Farragut West Metro Station. Perot said the suspect Ramanula, I don't know. The suspect, we're going to call him Ramanula Lakenwall, drove from Washington State to target the Guard members. She said the suspect, an Afghan national, ambushed the Guard members, opening fire with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. One guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardman again. Another guardman is struck several times, she said. Other National Guard members quickly responded and helped subdue the suspected shooter after he was shot by a Guard member, she said. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey went to D.C. Wednesday and visited with the Guard members in the hospital overnight, according to his office. I'm asking every West Virginian to pray for our two guardsmen as their families, friends, and neighbors struggle with this unspeakable tragedy, Morrissey said in a statement. The governor also met with the president to discuss the investigation. I'm going to stop there. I want them to just start arresting those individuals that harass the ICE agents and like just be at the building causing all that ruckus and everything. I want them to just start arresting those people. Yeah. I don't want them to play with them. I want them to just start arresting them. I want it to be against the law. Nope, it's already against the law. I want them to uphold the laws. It's not against the law to protest, just so we can be clear. But while they're protesting, they are doing a lot of things that they're not supposed to be doing. I want them to now, I want them to force these people to follow everything to the guidelines, to everything. And I want every last one of those individuals that's out there. You know that it's a crime to try to incite violence. Yeah, I did tell people that Trump was a horrible candidate. Let's have this conversation. Thank you for being here. For everybody that don't know, for a long time, I was telling people that Trump was going to be a horrible candidate. But what did I also say? Do you remember the thing I also said? This person is just here to try to create a problem. I'm not MAGA at all. Just so we can be clear. I've had this conversation. I'm not MAGA. I've had this conversation already. I'm not MAGA. But do you know what I also said? Or are you just here to say that part? What did I also say when I said that Trump was a horrible candidate? I'm going to tell you the thing I also said. Right after I predict, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you the thing I also said. Oh, you don't remember the thing I also said? I also said it's up to the Democrats to put up a good candidate because Trump is going to win if they don't. And the first time Trump ran, right? That's what I said. They did not put up a good candidate, right? Trump won, right? The second time Trump ran, I said something similar. And then Biden, once you call me a liar about something, I'm telling the truth, I'm just kicking you. I'm not going to argue back and forth with you. I promise. Yeah, I did say I understood why he lost the election in 2020 to a certain degree. But I'm talking about the 2016. Let's do it in order. Because in 2016, I said that Trump was a bad candidate. I didn't say that in 2020. So let's do it in order. All right? In 2016, I said Trump was a bad candidate. In 2016, I said Trump was a bad candidate. Because of the politics that we had going on then, and because of the things that I believed. Now, just so we can be clear, obviously I was wrong. But I also said that he's going to become president if the Democrats don't put anybody up against him worth voting for, which they did not. They went and got Hillary Clinton, who she didn't even do a primary, if I'm correct. So, yeah. Thank you for letting me know about how I was wrong about something, and then I changed my mind because I was given new information. Being an adult, a smart adult, thank you for letting the world know that. I appreciate you. What else? They just told you I was a smart adult, fam. That I believed something, and then I thought something different. I found out different, so I changed my mind. It sounds like intelligence. Anyway, let's get back to what we're doing. Satan is always going to try to make the good things about you sound bad. Always. Satan is always going to try to make you run from God. Right? That's what just happened. That person was trying to convince me to run from God. Pay attention. They just criticized me for changing my mind from a bad decision to a good one. Think about that for a moment. Now, with that being said, they about to come in here with some more craziness in 2 seconds. Don't worry about it. Now, with that being said, what they need to do is put these people in jail. And what I want is this. Mandatory. 8 months. 8 months is a year. That's how jail go in state. But this is federal crimes. Mandatory 12 months. Mandatory. Found guilty for what these people are doing, which they are doing. If you're found guilty, I want a mandatory 12 months. Even if you plead guilty, I want a mandatory 12 months. Now, if you're found guilty and there's extenuating circumstances, I want it to be up to 5 years. And I know people are like, yo, but that's a lot for protesting. These people are not protesting. These people are inciting violence. The First Amendment does not protect you from inciting violence. There is no First Amendment protection when somebody walks up to you and say, I'll fuck you, part of my language. I'll beat you up. There's no First Amendment protection. If a person comes up to you and threatens your person, and you physically respond back, depending on what state that is, that's 100% self-defense. I want that to be federally 100% self-defense. Because everybody talking about black fatigue. You know what fatigues me the most about our people? That we have so many of our people that believe they could say anything they want and it's protected by the damn First Amendment. So we don't talk to each other the right way. You know what God said? God says that he loves kind words. But you know what our society is teaching us? Don't give people kind words. God says in the Bible, he loves kind words. The First Amendment does not protect you from inciting violence. So every time you're in an argument with somebody and you start speaking violence, your First Amendment ain't protected. Well, that's why when you talk to a police officer, if he really want to get it on with you, and you be like, "Yo, I kick you up," whatever, he could get you right then and there, fam. Throw you right in the cuffs. Once you say any kind of violence to an officer of the law at all, they can arrest you. I don't know why. I don't know how you allow people to believe. I don't know how you allow people to trick you into thinking that that's protected by the First Amendment. I don't know how people allow that. I don't know how people allow it. I'm just being honest with you. So this is what I look to see that's going to happen. Watch when the primaries come. There's going to be so much violence in America between now and when the primaries come. And the Democrats are not going to be able to keep blaming it on the Republicans. You see, what's happening to the Democrats right now is that echo chamber that they live in is getting smaller. 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 You understand? It was like this before. That's how big their echo chamber was. So they was able to go in the echo chamber, just say whatever they wanted to say, and then a million voices is screaming back at them, no matter how insane it was. But now their echo chambers getting smaller. So now a million voices ain't screaming it back at them no more. Now it's tens of thousands. How do y'all feel when y'all found out all of those social media, those liberal social media accounts that were supposed to be Americans? How did you feel when you found out that most of those people come from other countries? Who told y'all that? They not tell y'all that. I've been telling y'all that for like 2 years. I've been telling y'all that for 2 years. Most of these accounts that y'all see on the internet that's talking bad about Trump, most of these is foreign accounts. I've been telling y'all that for years now. Years. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude in New York City, fam. I've been telling y'all that for years. You know how many things I've been telling y'all that is just true? We just don't know it's true yet? That's another one. I told y'all. For everybody that don't know what I'm talking about, Elon Musk, and when Instagram does this, it's going to be over. Y'all really, truly going to understand. If Instagram is not doing this yet for a couple of different reasons. I'm 100% certain that they've probably already been approached. But it hurts too many other aspects of how money is made on Instagram. Because then when you find out that some account that you thought was some chick that get naked, and you find out, and she literally lives in America, but you find out that that account is an account that's actually like in a whole nother country because other people control the account. Like, there's a lot of implications here. You understand? So that's the only reason why I don't think Instagram has done this yet. but I believe it to be in their future. Now, with that being said, when I told y'all all of those, they not even American. Those not even American accounts. Remember I was telling y'all that? Yeah, I'm right. X, or formerly known as Twitter, they just put the thing so you can see where the accounts originated from, and where the accounts when it was made, and it's just normal now. You could just look, like the person can't hide it. And they got a ton of accounts that was made overseas that claim to be American accounts. Some of them claim to be MAGA and they saying crazy shit. Some of them claim to be the liberal account and they just saying regular liberal crazy shit. But I told y'all following behind people that want to destroy our country. Just following them. Who else did I tell y'all a lot of these people ain't American? Another reason why I said lock these people up that be at the damn ICE facilities. Some of them people ain't American, fam. They're flying these people in from Canada. They're flying these people in from all over the world. A lot of those people ain't American. Why do you think they're all white? Just so we could be clear, who lives in the red states? Mostly white people, right? So where they getting all of these white people that hate America? There's a lot of white people they finding that hate America. Some of them are Americans. Don't get it confused. A lot of them are American. A good percentage of them are not from America. A good percentage of these people, and this is one of the main reasons why they want to get the Muslims out of here. And I feel bad for the Muslim people that come to this country and they're just really just doing the American dream. Like, I feel bad for y'all. Because I know quite a few people that they Muslim and they just doing the American dream. They're not really even in on, they Arab. Let me say it like that. Pardon me. Let me rephrase what I just said. Because I don't really know everybody's. I know some of them are Muslim, just so we can be clear. But I know some Arab people that are just here just trying to get the American dream. They not really, on a lot of this time. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they not even political. You understand? Like real talk. Like, they don't even care about politics. You understand what I'm saying? They own whatever they own. I know Arab people that are Christian. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Because this is what's going to happen. Pay attention. Y'all don't remember. A lot of people don't remember how it was during, everybody talk about the 9/11 and how it was after 9/11. I live in New York City. Y'all don't understand how it was in the early 90s for Arabs in New York City. Yeah, if y'all wasn't here, y'all don't know it. Early 90s, late 80s. They really didn't start getting super accepted like this until they started opening up all of the stores in our neighborhoods. They didn't really start getting accepted like this until they started opening up all the stores in our neighborhoods. That's the part people forget. Just like the Africans, right? They weren't really accepted in our community like that. They had their own little, thing that they did over there. They lived in our community, but they had their own little thing over there. And we had our thing next to them, and everybody lived in peace. And we said hi, and we went about our business, but everybody stayed separate. Everybody forgets about that. They 100%, black people, we're the most racist people on the planet. And can't nobody tell me different. All right? We are. It's a tribal thing. I don't subscribe to any of the racism. But we're some of the most racist people on the planet. And what I mean by that is we look at not all black people, because I don't, but the majority of black people look at every single thing through race. Like everything. There is not, you can't have a discussion about anything unless there's also race added to the conversation. Like, so you can't talk about nothing unless we're also talking about race. And if it's a black woman, we have to be talking race, and we have to be talking about sexuality, gender, or the differences between men and women at all times. Like, we're some of the most exhausting people to have a conversation with. This is just facts. So I'm saying that to say early 90s, late 80s, Arabs and Muslims, they weren't accepted. And this is like around the Desert Storm period. They wasn't really accepted. The 90s is when we had the influx. And then we started gravitating to them more. Then 9/11 happened, and then they was pariahs. And then now, I don't know. Now, all of a sudden, a couple of years after 10 years after 9/11, it's like, no, that's not the situation. Now, with that also being said, I'm not saying that we should be holding anything against people because of something that some other people did. Yeah. Just so we could be clear, I'm never chatting with myself on my live. There's some weirdos that are telling people that I'm doing that. I'm never chatting with myself on my live. That's insane. I'm never doing that. But in the people that they're lying to you and you're believing this, believe me, they think you're stupid. And that's why you're believing this. They think you're stupid. And I'm going to agree with them, just so we can be clear. I think it's stupid also, to be honest with you. Because the comments are happening right now, and my phone isn't even in my hand. How am I commenting? I'm not clicking on the keyboard. I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. Believe me, they think you're stupid too. I also think you're stupid. I just want to be clear about this. Let me get back to the show. You can't do stupid things and say stupid things and then get mad when people call you stupid, fam. I'm just saying. You just can't. The fuck? Anyway, get back to what we're talking about. The response. I thought that was funny. Because somebody literally said that to me. Real quick, I just want to say something. I'm going to tell y'all about this. I ain't going to say who said it because it's insanity. But somebody accused me of arguing with myself in my chat. Like, you can't see my hands. Like, you can't. And I really don't pick up my phone much. And usually when I pick up my phone, I show y'all what I'm doing. So they convinced somebody, she just something wrong with her. They convinced her that I be chatting with myself. I'm like, what do they think I got? Like telekinesis? I'm using my mind to text. And if you ask them, they can be like, I don't know how he doing it, but he doing it. I'm not doing it. That's how you don't know how I'm doing it. Yo, the things I laugh with about myself when I'm in private, fam, I promise you, I be rolling. I be rolling when I be thinking about the stuff that people be believing about me. I promise you, I be rolling. I don't even be upset. I just be so... It be like, I mean, you're an adult. Like, how do you? I'm like, people just hate me, fam. The only way you can believe some of this shit is if you just hate me already, and you just been sitting around trying to figure out how you could express your hate. That's the way I be thinking with you. I'm like, hey, fuck it. That person hated me anyway. That's the only way you can believe that stupid shit. Let's get back to the show. Oh man, I think that's hilarious. Like, what do you think I'm doing? Like, you think And then also, just so I could be clear, the messages that they're saying I'm putting into the chat are all the messages that mess up my channel. Like, why wouldn't I be doing that and saying good things about myself? But you think I'm arguing with myself. But you don't think I'm saying good things. Why wouldn't I do that to say good things about myself? Hey. Anyway, let me get back to what I'm talking about. I got to deal with a lot of people with mental illnesses. And I'm going to explain something to you real quick. When people got mental illnesses, they're trying everything and they think that you see their mental illness. I want to be clear about that. When a person has a mental illness, they know they have a mental illness. And they think you know that they have a mental illness. They spend all of their time attacking you. I promise you. They spend all of their time trying to get other people to think that there's something wrong with you. So they spend all of their time telling people things to treat you weird. All of their time whenever you're around trying to speak down on everything that you're doing and saying. Because in their brain, you could see that they have a mental illness. And since they're not a good person, they assume that you're going to attack them sooner or later. You don't even got no intentions on attacking them. Especially if you're the type of person like me and I see a person got a mental illness and I'm like, oh, man, I don't got anyway, my mental illnesses, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna say what it is. I'm gonna stop being polite about it. That's a mental illness. I'm gonna stop being polite about it, man. I be polite about it. It's a mental illness, man. Anyway, I got to deal with a lot of people with mental illnesses. But you find, and I'm going to be clear about this, I believe mental illness is just demon inhabiting you, like fucking with your brain. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I believe that is. So that's why I think that people that God has his hand on go through a lot of attacks. That's why you got to constantly deal with people with mental illnesses, because you got to constantly deal with different demons being sent to come try to disrupt your life, like constantly. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an all the time thing. It's a whenever you go around other people, the demons and Satan and whoever is trying to figure out a way to manipulate the people around you, because they can't. Satan can't talk to you. You understand? But he could talk to them. But he can't talk to you. You understand? You covered. They might think they covered. You understand what I'm saying? But they probably broke their covenant with God. See, God is never going to break his covenant with you. But you might break your covenant with God. You understand? People do it all the time. That's why you look at people sometimes and you be like, why is everything going good for them? Well, they didn't break their covenant with God. Why are they so lucky? Why is all of these things happening to them? To you, you think it's luck. It's not luck, it's God. They didn't break their covenant with God. When I see other people that I believe have a covenant with God, I treat them like this. I treat everybody like this. Don't get it confused. But when I see somebody and I can recognize somebody, I treat them like this. Because I know God is moving in their body. You understand? Now I'm trying to treat everybody like this, but you can't. Because when people don't got God in them, they're going to allow Satan in them. You understand? So why would you believe that I'm sabotaging my own channel? For what? I barely even do live streams. Why would I come on live to sabotage? I barely even do live streams. You get it? Yeah, I don't do that. No, but just so we could be clear, there's a tactic that a lot of content creators use where they have narratives in their chat so they can have good interactions and make their show look better. And there's nothing wrong with that. What somebody is accusing me of doing is sabotaging my own channel with fake accounts. And my argument is, if you're accusing me of doing that, why wouldn't I be doing that to help boost my channel? Why would I be doing that to tear my channel down? That's why what they're saying is a mental illness. Because if you're telling me that you're saying that I know a way that I could maneuver the conversation in a way that, you know, allows for me to be more engaging, why wouldn't I do that in a manner that's going to help build my channel up? Why would you think I would do that in a manner that's going to tear my channel down? Like, so that's why it's a mental illness. You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. And I don't do that. Nope, I've never done that. And now I'm kicking you. I've never done that, not once. Never, in no way, shape, or form. I've never done that. Never. Never, never, never. And just so we could be clear, me having a co-host and us talking about what we're going to talk about on the show is not that. All right? Because that's generally how a show should be ran. If I had people over here working with me, that's how we'll run the show. You know, we would have our, like, when I had people working with me, that's how we ran the show. We'd have our meetings. Sometimes we have a meeting in the morning. Sometimes we have a meeting in the evening. But we'll have our meetings where, you know, it might be one or two of us there in the meeting, or I just might have individual meetings, and we'll talk about what's going on in the public sphere, what we would like to discuss. What would you like to discuss? What do you know about specifically? Let me go do some research, and then I'll allow for you to come up and talk about the thing you want to talk about. Yeah, absolutely. I've done that. That's how you do a show. When you have, you know, other people working with you, 100%. But I've never, ever, ever, ever had anybody come into my comments to push anything for me to respond back to. Never done that. Ever. I don't even like that, just so we can be clear. I would never ask somebody to do something that I don't like. That's more insanity. I'm trying to tell you, these people are mentally ill, fam. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. These people are mentally ill. I'm trying to tell you. I've never done that. That doesn't make sense. And so I think the main issue is this. I keep saying this, but bear with me. I think since people think I'm smarter than I actually am, they deal with me in ways stupider than they would probably normally deal with a different individual. You understand what I'm saying? It's like people are constantly trying to outsmart me when I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing to outsmart. I'm literally not doing anything. I'm literally just minding my business. That's all. I'm not doing anything. There's nothing to outsmart. Yeah, so I'm not doing anything. I'm never doing anything. But since people see intelligence on me, you know, I guess they also think that a way to upset me is by telling people I'm not smart. I mean, I don't really care about none of that. I don't know. People are crazy. People are crazy. I promise you. Y'all are concerned about things I'm not concerned about. I promise you. I promise you. Like, just worry about God and worry about how God is in your life. Ooh, I got any more coffee left? No more coffee. It's a drop. Worry about God and worry about how God is in your life. That should be your number one priority with everything. And everything else should extrapolate out from that. Period. So I worry about God. I worry about how God is in my life. if somebody comes into my life and I even feel like they might be jeopardizing my relationship with God, I don't deal with them no more. It's not a thought. It's not a thought. God told me to go do something that involves another individual. I haven't went and gone and did it yet. I know he's pissed off about it. But the apparatuses or individuals that are in that situation around that particular thing that I'm supposed to do, I get the feeling like God doesn't want me to be doing but so much, dealing with that particular situation. And so therefore I don't know how the other thing is supposed to work, so I haven't did it. But I know that we're supposed to just, do it. God is going to make, and he's done that so much in my life where there's things that I just was like, that's not possible. And then I just go do it. And then it's possible. It works out better than I ever thought it would have. And then the next thing I know, all types of different blessings for other people spring out through that thing. So, like, this has happened to me in my life before, as far as, it's happened to all of us, I'm assuming. God sends you to go do something. You're like, this sounds impossible. And then you go do it. And it'd be the greatest thing that's ever happened up to that point in your life. So, anyway, God sent me to go do a thing. I haven't went and did it. I could just imagine. I realized that I talk about God a different way than most people talk about God. I realized that a lot of people don't talk about God like he's actually, like, I pay attention to how people talk about God. The way people talk about God, a lot of times, it's like they don't believe in him. Like they still need convincing. Some of these people be in the church. I hear them talking about God and I be confused. And I'm like, you talking about God like you still need convincing. How? So be mindful of where you go worship. A lot of these people don't believe in God the way they purport that they do. A lot of churches don't have more people in them because y'all push people away. Y'all try to make people feel like only a select group is allowed into their church. And then they sit around and they wonder why more people aren't in the church. I'm telling you why. You make people feel unwelcome. Argue with somebody else, man. Argue with somebody else. Don't argue with me. Let's talk more about the National Guard situation that got shot. Oh, hold on. Can we talk about Jim Jones handing out turkeys for one moment? I want to talk about this Jim Jones handing out turkeys. I want to say something. And I want to be clear about this. I have no dislike for Jim Jones. But you cannot consistently be on this side of the conversation. You can't be, as old as he is, acting like a teenager. And what I mean by that is, so I'm gonna tell you a story. So I'm not gonna tell you the whole situation because I'm not trying to bring the people into it. I'm just trying to bring the idea and the concept so you can understand where I'm coming from. So somebody came up to me. So there was a situation that I was in where a person went to a person, said a thing, and then when I told them to mind their business because it had nothing to do with them and it didn't have anything to do with them, They then started mouthing off and yelling at me. Now they're yelling, right? I'm raising my voice to match their energy. I'm not really trying to yell. You understand what I'm saying? And at the whole time, I'm just saying, yo, you talking to me like, you know, like you're going to do something to me. And this is how you just heard me say it that way, like questionable, like that. Like you talking to me like you're going to do. But I said it a different way, much more assertive words. But that's basically the way I was asking the question. Because I just said, mind your business. And it wasn't your business. And this individual, you know, could have said a ton of different things. But what the individual did do was he then tried to say, you acting like a kid. I'm not acting like a kid. I'm in my business. And you're trying to bring yourself into my business. This has nothing to do with you. Zero. I think that I'm being pretty cool just asking you to mind your business. The person tried to gaslight me and say I was acting like a kid. Upon that, I stepped up in his face. What's good? Now, with all due respect, I'm very happy nothing happened. I'm 100% sure I would have came out on the winner. But I'm very happy that nothing happened. Because that's not the energy that I try to move with. But I want to say this, and I need this to be clear. Especially to everybody that considers themselves a Christian and a follower of Christ. As we are always supposed to use kind words, we are also supposed to be courageous. One of the main issues that I have with our current churches is they always try to make it seem like in order to be right by God, you got to allow people to do harm to you. That's not what the whole turn the other cheek thing is about, fam. Think about it. If Jesus already passed away for our sins, then why should we allow for people to abuse us? That it don't make sense when you say it like that, right? So I'll just break it down even further. You know how they say turn the other cheek? And they also like to say, well, Jesus did this and Jesus wouldn't have did that. But they leave out the part where Jesus went down to hell and stole back the keys of hell and the power of death. Life and death. They leave that part out. That Jesus sacrificed his life so he can go do violence in hell. They leave that part out. I'm going to say that again for the people that don't get it. Jesus sacrificed his life. And in those 3 days, he went down to hell where he went and took the keys of hell and the power of life and death from Satan. The power of death from Satan. And just so you could get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say, Satan is not going to be running hell. Satan isn't going to be down there in hell telling people how to torture you. Satan is also being tortured. Satan is not the king of hell. That's not how that works. There's a lot of stuff the Bible that they didn't teach you appropriately. Like, I'll just say something real quick, just so because we're talking about the Bible. You know the apple and Eve, the Adam and Eve apple, right? You know why God removed Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden? It wasn't because they bit the apple of knowledge. It's it's not because they ate from the tree of knowledge. It was so they wouldn't eat from the tree of life. So Satan exists outside of time. He's infinite, right? He exists outside of time. So that means that when it's time for him to get his retribution, when it's time for him to go into hell, how long do you think he's going to be in hell? It's going to be infinite. He exists outside of time. So when Adam and Eve was in the garden and they bit the apple of knowledge, if they would have been allowed to eat from the apple of life, we would have never been able to be saved, because we would have had no beginning, we would have had no end, we would have been infinite. Human beings would have lived infinitely, so there would have been no saving. We wouldn't have been able to be saved. So that's why we were removed from the garden, not because we bit from the tree, from the apple of knowledge. But they don't teach that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I could go on and on and on, but that's neither here nor there. But they don't teach that. You understand? Because when you teach that, you got to teach some other things. And when you teach some other things, you got to teach some other things. And when you teach some other things, you got to teach some other things. So now the whole entire Bible looks different. So no. When people do, and nobody's in hell right now. 0 people in hell. 0 people in heaven. That's a whole nother conversation though. So I am not a part of any doctrine where I have to teach a certain specific way. But there are things that I try to stay away from, because without context, it's just going to sound crazy and it don't make any sense. And we've been taught opposite for so long that if you say certain things, people are just going to assume you don't know what you're talking about, because we've been taught opposite for so long. But as a Christian, you do not have any obligation to allow for people to trespass upon you. And I wish they stopped teaching that. Because once they stop teaching that, then, we'll be stronger as an Americans. We'll be stronger as Americans, as a people, individually, whatever demographic you belong to, and as a spiritual people. We'll be stronger. Now, when you have these people in your neighborhoods that need to be removed, the police or whoever get some actual help. Because the only reason why the hood is as bad as the hood is because the people in the neighborhoods protect the people that destroy the neighborhoods. That's it. That's the only reason. The people in the neighborhoods protect all of the criminals. And if you start doing well, the people in the neighborhood run you out of the neighborhood. So you're not allowed to do well in the hood. And you're also not allowed to be against any of the things that's destroying the neighborhood. You're not allowed to be against any of it. Just so we could be clear. So. And I think all of this trickles back down to, in order to be a good person, you have to be nonviolent. I don't believe that. I believe that a man, there's a difference between being nonviolent and being harmless. They want, especially black men, to be harmless. They want us to be harmless. They've already convinced our women to try to turn us into simps and everything else, everything that a man is not. They've already convinced our women. Black women want black men to be every single way that the Bible don't want us to be. And I'm not saying every black woman, obviously. But black women generally want you to do everything the opposite of what God wants for a man. Just generally speaking. And this wasn't in black women. I'm old enough to know this. This was not in our women in the 80s. This was not in our women. This didn't start being in our women until like the late 90s, early 2000s. This was not a thing. When I was growing up, if a female liked you, she let you know. Like, it wasn't a secret. If a female liked you and she didn't let you know, somebody let you know. And I'm not talking about like she just thinks you're cute. I'm talking about want to marry you, want to have your babies. Everybody be working to make that thing happen. This is just what it is. When I was growing up, I used to sit around and hear women maybe make fun of their man a little, but they also literally competed with talking about the good stuff that they mans did. I'm a little kid. They don't thinking the second thing about letting me hear. You go to an event and you see all of the women getting their man food. You got whatever the thing is, like whatever. She gonna go make her man plate, bring it to him. I had somebody do that for me. Shit, was she thinking something? See, this is why people like me need shit said to them, cause I don't be thinking. Like, that don't be something that's on my mind. But anyway, in any regard, neither here nor there. Women were just different. Black women were just different. I'm sorry. Black women from the 80s, before that crack hit, was so wholesome. I can't, it was just different. It was just different. I didn't have many black people on the block I lived in. Don't get this confused. Right? But I'm literally in a black family. So I was a lot of places with black people. And the way black women love their men is just different. And I think also the way men love their women is different. We're not going to act like, it's just different. But I'm going to tell you this from the male perspective, because, I've had a lot of conversations with my male friends over the years. Like 90% of the stuff that females complain about that men actually do, men are literally doing as a response to their behavior. Like, almost all of the things that females complain about that men do is a response to their behavior. I imagine having a friend. He talk about how much he liked this girl. He been chasing her 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Finally get her. Now all you do is hear him complaining. And not complain about shit that you like, nigga. But complaining about stuff like, dang. Really? And now you look at her and you yourself is like, yeah, she's not as attractive as I thought she was. Because men value peace. There was a young lady, and I'm not going to say who it is, but when I was growing up, I was a little kid, there was this young lady, and she was dating a dude in the neighborhood, and as far as I'm concerned, I thought they was like the prince and princess of our block. They were just, to me, what I saw as, when I get a girlfriend, I want us to be as in love like they look like they are. Right? I want that type of connection. I'm the type of nigga, I love a clingy girlfriend. I promise you. If you're not clingy, I'm going to think you're cheating. Just like that. If you're not clingy, I'm going to think you're not interested. I've seen what a wife looks like. Real wives are clingy as shit. Husbands can't never get rid of them. Just telling y'all, for everybody that don't know, real wives is clingy as hell. You're going to be with her all day. Whenever you're not at work, you're probably going to be with her. She's going to be right by your side. If she got something to go do, she's going to be trying to figure out how you could be there with her. I love a clingy girlfriend. They are literally the best. What story was I telling you? I started thinking about something, and then I was thinking about too many different things at the same time. I was thinking about something. And we supposed to be talking about this National Guard anyway, right? I want to get back to the National Guard conversation. That's not a problem. I'll be talking about God in the Bible for a minute. But love a clingy girlfriend. Like that, like, it don't make sense. Like, how do you, just on a random other note, like, how do you date a woman that's not clingy? Like, how do you date a woman that's not clingy? Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you date a woman that wants to be other places where you're not? Like, that, like what? And just so we can be clear, yes, that annoys us, but that makes us feel loved. 100% annoys us. You used to have this girlfriend, and she used to buy all the same sneakers I bought. So, she bought my sneakers for me. So, she was buying 2 pairs of the same sneakers, just one of her size and one of my size. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, we always went outside matching. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that was one of my most favorite things ever. But that was so super clingy of her. But that's one of my favorite things ever. One of my favorite things ever. Everywhere we went, we were matching in one way or another. One of my most favorite things ever. But she was super clingy, and I loved every second of it. Every second. I think that's the first time I actually was in a relationship with a female that I felt loved me. Loved every second of it. Clingy is good. I want clingy. Let's get back to the conversation. Let's get back to the conversation about the National Guards and stuff. We was talking about, hold on, we was talking about Jim Jones handing out the turkeys. I wanted to say this about Jim Jones handing out the turkeys real quick. Jim Jones shouldn't be handing out turkeys. First of all, none of those turkeys counted as far as God is considered unless it came from your heart. Now, he could have just been having a scowl on and being upset and angry, and because it's just Jim. And it could have still came from his heart. We're not going to act like just because somebody is in a uneven temperament that they can't be doing something for good. We're not going to act like that. But, Jim, you got to do better. You got to do better. What I mean by that is you can't be making it look like a drug deal. You can't be smoking weed. He was smoking a blunt. You can't be doing a drug deal. You can't be smoking a blunt. Like, don't you want promoters? Don't you want advertisers to deal with you? Or you only want the advertisers to deal with you that allow for you to do the foolishness that you're doing? I'm just saying. You want people to deal with you, Jim. No one cares that you smoking weed. This is New York City. No one cares. At this point in New York City, if you equate somebody being a bad person with smoking weed, that's insane. And also, I don't equate anybody using any drugs with being a bad person. Just so we can be clear. There's a ton of people who are alcoholics and got some of the biggest hearts in the world. It's just, that's what they do. You know, they fighting every day. Right? Fighting the addiction and fighting some people are liking the comment I made back at the dude that I told you about when this thing started. And somebody is liking the whole chain. I should give him a good response. He gave me a good response. I should maybe later, because I'm gonna respond back to that. I'm gonna give him a nice, intelligent response. People give me intelligent responses. I give them nice, well thought out responses. But when people like comment crazy, then I either don't comment back or I just block them a lot of the times. I know people be commenting at me on Instagram. They thinking I'm going to go back and forth with them. They go get their fake account, and then I just block them. I don't say nothing. I don't respond back nothing. I just block you and go about my life. It's crazy. People are just crazy, man. People are crazy. And then I want to say this. A lot of times when you just got high emotional intelligence, that's how you handle the situation. Like if I know or if I feel like we're going to always argue, why would I talk to you? If I feel like every time I come to you and I have something to say, you want to argue or complain or make it seem like I'm wrong at something, why would I talk to you? Like at this point, I can't be upset with you. Like obviously, you have some kind of mental disorder. I can't be upset with you. There's something wrong with you. So at this point, I can only be upset with myself. Why do I keep talking to this individual? And these same people that do these same things are gonna wonder why you don't come around. These same people that do these same things is somewhere, probably right now, talking crazy about you. Why they wondering why you don't come around. These same people are like, but they say he was going to do this. Yeah, I was going to do all of those things when I thought we were friends. I was going to do all of those things. But now we're not friends. Why am I giving you friend treatment? Why am I giving you friend treatment? You were very happy with us not being friends, just so we could be clear. I'm not complaining about it. But you're very happy with us not being friends. But you do want me to treat you in the way that I treat my friends. I need you to explain this to me. And I promise you, I am not going to be blackmailed. I'm not going to be bullied into doing whatever it is. And it's not a thing you're going to be able to, it's just not going to happen. You could have just been my friend. And when I was happy to do all of the stuff. You chose to not be my friend, but you still want me to treat you like we friends. That's probably just not going to happen. It's 100% not going to happen. I'm just being kind about it. You know, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, man. Be angry at the person who told you to disrespect me. Don't be angry at me. Be angry at the person who told you that was the appropriate way to handle me. Be angry at them. Don't be angry at me. I didn't do nothing. Jim Jones handing out turkeys. That's crazy. You got to do better than that, Jim. Hand out some more during Christmas. You don't got to put on a suit. You don't got to put on a tie. You don't have to do none of that. But you can be out there with a smile. You can take a picture or two. You could also not make it look like you only there because the judge told you had to be there. That's what it looked like. It looked like he was just there because the judge had told him he had to be there. Like he was completely against this whole entire. This is a travesty. That's the impression I got from Jim's behavior. Like he just was like, "Why am I here for? Like who did this? Off with their heads." He was pissed. You can't be that way, Jim. But there's a lot going on with Jim that I don't necessarily agree with. But once again, you don't know who's a good person. You don't know who's a bad person, right? Only God knows our heart. Stop thinking somebody is a good person or a bad person because of a thing that they did. Why did they do it? If you don't have no reason to think they did it for a wild and zany reason, then accept it as what it is. So that's what I do. I accept things as what it is. But like, I'm going to be mindful of manipulation tactics. But accept it as what it is. All right, let's get back to what time is it? It's going on 11. I'm probably going to get off here in a minute. Let's go back. Let's have another conversation real quick about this National Guard situation. Don't be surprised if there are some politicians that are arrested soon. I personally think that the seditious six, I think they should all be arrested, just so we can be clear. Arrest all of them. Treason, 100%. And then start arresting the other politicians that speak out in treasonous ways immediately. Just to start arresting them. And don't care. I don't care what the narrative in the media is. We don't care. We don't care. We're going to hit you with law whenever any questions is asked. That's what I'll have. I'll have Trump. If I was Trump, I'd be there specifically. Whenever they try to ask that question, I'll be like, hold on. I have an expert right here, and it'll be that guy's job to follow me around for a couple of months while he's doing whatever else he's doing. But we're going to make sure every single time one of these people asks one of these questions and there's an inquiry into why these individuals are locked up in jail, we have an expert. This is an expert. He's a lawyer. Say all of his credentials or her credentials. Let you understand just how, where they're at as far as with their law degree and their understanding of the Constitution and all these other things. And then that's it. Every single time they try to bring one of those questions to Trump, hold on, I got an expert right here. Boom. Then that person just steps right out and they'll say constitutionally what the law is, then what's happening, and then what we're going to do next. Period. That's it. We're not answering all types of weird, crazy questions. Look, this is the law. This is the Constitution. Boom. This is where we're at. Boom. This is what we plan on doing next. Boom. All of this is legal. That's it. We're not answering any questions that has anything based on your emotion or your feelings. We don't care about them. Y'all sending individuals to go attack government agents. And don't say that you're not, because you are. You're telling people that are government agents are the Gestapo. You know how I constantly tell you that the tactics that have been used against me over the years are the same tactics that the Democrats use, and that's one of the reasons why I just hate them. What do you think people do to me? So there's this narrative going around that I'm an angry person, but I'm not an angry person. But you know how they talk to me in the street? Whenever they come up to me, they try to say things to me to make me upset. So I'll just be standing there and the person will just come over to me and start arguing. So now any response I say back to them, then they say I'm angry. You get it? So that's what I go through. That's why I don't talk to nobody. That's why I don't talk to nobody. I don't have no interest in really talking to nobody, really. There's like 2 or 3 people, maybe 4 people on the planet that I really have an interest in, like, speaking to. Other than that, well, 5 if you count one other person that we're not gonna count her, but like maybe 5 people on the whole planet I have an interest in talking to. I'm just being honest. There's only 4 people I could think about on the planet that I know I could get into a conversation with them and they're not gonna do those type of tactics. It's 4. Well, 3, because that person is friends with that person who's 100% gonna do it, and they like to say that other person's words to me. So they always sound like they're insane to me because they be saying the other person's slow. So 3, got 3 people on the whole planet. So I don't really care. Just letting you know, I don't really care. But yo, that's the same tactics they do to me. So what they do to Trump is they ask him an incendiary question, like what they used to do in the chat all the time. They still do it in the chat sometimes. They'll come and they'll ask an argumentative, incendiary question, and then if he doesn't respond back to it the way that they want him to respond back to it, they accuse him of being volatile. That's just all people do to me. That's why I don't talk to nobody. I just had somebody say that I threw something back at them because they wouldn't take it out of my hand, and I dropped it in front of me. I literally dropped the thing in front of me. They said I threw it at them. So now there's a whole narrative that I'm throwing food at somebody when I just dropped the thing in front of me. People are crazy, fam. And there's people saying that they swear up and down that just imagine this. Just imagine this. Just imagine this. You were at a place. You did do a thing. There's people that's swearing up and down that they saw you do a thing that you know you did not do. Because they took what you did do, which, you know, it wasn't any disrespect to anybody specifically, but I was not happy with the situation. But it wasn't disrespect to anybody specifically. I was just unhappy with the situation. So I tried to, I'm going to show you exactly what I did with my hand. Get something that's not going to fly all over the place and do nothing crazy. Let me show you just what I did with my hand. So I had the thing like this. They gave me the food. I was like, whatever I'm not going to go over what the disagreement was. I said, all right, the person didn't take it. The other person came. I went like this. The person didn't take it. I went like this. Neither one of them took it. I dropped it, turned around, and walked away. I went like this. They didn't take it. They didn't take it. I dropped it, turned around, and walked away. They said I threw the food at the person. I'm going to explain this again, just so we can be 100% clear about what happened. I went over to get something. I'm not going to talk about that because that's a whole nother conversation. But I went over to get something. The person gave me the thing. There was a discrepancy. We're not going to go over what any of that stuff is. That's neither here nor there. That's not the part I'm discussing. That's not important. Somebody else is going to try to make that important so they could try to talk about something totally different because what I'm telling you what happened. So I go, I have the thing. There's a discrepancy. I go to give it back to the person. They refuse to take it. Another person walks over. I go to give it to that person. They refuse to take it. I try to give it back to them. Now, I have to go somewhere, just so we can be clear. I have like 5 minutes to come over here and get a couple of things and then eat those couple of things inside of that 5 minutes and then get back out to go do a whole different thing that I'm doing that everybody see me doing. So these particular individuals see me working. They see me busy. They see me doing a thing. And they know, because you have to know, that I only have a few moments to run over here and go do anything, or run to go do anything. I only got a few moments. I don't have 15 minutes. I don't got 20 minutes. I got 5 minutes. Okay? I go over, try to get the thing. There's a discrepancy. I'm like, I gotta go back. I don't got time for this. Like, this is not about the food anymore. It's about, I gotta go back to the thing that I want to do, and I don't want to accept this because I'm gonna come back later, and what you're gonna tell me is that I got something before. So now you don't want to. So that's how I feel. So I don't want to take anything right now. I'm gonna go back to what I'm doing, and then I just come back later. It is what it is. So I go to give the person back. They refuse to take it out of my hand. It's a plate. They refuse to take it. I go to give it to the next person that walked over. They refuse to take it. So I then take the thing and I drop it in front of me, and I turn around and I walk away. And now those people go tell people I threw food at them. I love that God is who God is. Because I might go the rest of my whole entire life with people believing that lie. But when we die, and we got to be held accountable, I pray to God that whoever's to hold us accountable for our actions, don't forget that one. For me, neither you, neither anybody that was involved in that, neither anybody that gave a comment to it and acted like I pray to God in Jesus' name that we're held accountable for that day. Everybody involved. Amen. I pray. I pray to God. And this isn't for spite. This is because God has to start stepping on individuals that's out here doing certain things. Because if you don't get certain attitudes out of our community, how can other attitudes come into our community? If we don't get rid of certain behaviors, how can we adopt other behaviors? So that whole mindset gotta go. Of you think that you're wrong about something, but in order to deflect from your bad behavior, you accuse someone else of something that they didn't do. That got to go out the window. They got to get rid of that. Until we get rid of that, I don't feel bad for people that live in the hood and have to experience the bullshit. And the only reason why I don't feel bad is because y'all want the bullshit in your community. If anybody moves to any neighborhood, any hood, and tries to do good, the first thing that's going to happen is everybody is going to hate them. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Every person that lives in the hood is going to hate you. I hate black culture because that's part of black culture. Hating anybody that's bringing God to you. Hating anybody that wants to improve our life. That's part of black culture. I hate it. Part of black culture is gatekeeping anything that's going to help other people. I hate that. Part of black culture is sticking together and trying to destroy other people for random reasons. I hate that. Part of black culture is our women all being sex objects and none of them being mothers, none of them being maternal. Our women aren't maternal. They took the father's patriarchy away from him by kicking black men out of that, by kicking the men out the house. So yeah, I don't agree with any of that. And this isn't a negative on women thing, just so we can be clear. Because us as men got to do so much to get out of the doldrums that our community is currently in. Don't get this confused. But as soon as even one man comes about and tries to make good change, y'all either going to kill him, y'all going to assassinate his character, or y'all going to try to run him out of the community. I've had all three of those things happen to me since I've been here. I say this all the time, and I'm going to repeat this again. The head of Christ is God. The head of man is Christ. The head of woman is man. And the head of child is woman. The fact that our kids in our neighborhoods are just so terrible nowadays is proof that God isn't trickling down to them. Now, the only two problems could be man, Christ being the head, and woman, man being the head. Now listen, how many men are Christ really the head of? Not that many. Not no more. Christ isn't the head of most of you guys. Money is. Your wife is in many of y'all cases. Your mother is. Your father might be, but not Christ. Your job might be, your boss might be, but not Christ. So the Christ isn't the head of many men. How many women have a man that is the head of their household? Now, how many women have a man that's the head of their household that is Christ is the head of that man? So how are the kids supposed to have Christ in them if the fathers and the mothers are failing them? How are the kids supposed to get to God? Explain it. How is the kid supposed to get to God? Many men don't follow Christ. And women, their whole thing is to make sure, especially black women specifically, their whole thing is to never have a man be the head of their household. They rather anything else could happen. Just a man cannot be the head of their household. Their boss could be the head of their damn pet could be the head of their household. They'll have a dog that run everything. Everything got to revolve around that dog. But a man, head of their household, never. So if the Bible says the head of Christ is God, the head of man is Christ, the head of woman is man, and the head of child is woman, how are we supposed to save these kids if we can't even bring them to Jesus? And just so we can be clear, there's a lot of churches that that are not welcome places. There are a lot of churches out here that they do not welcome people. People are not welcome. So I can't even be too mad. And the main people that are not welcome at a lot of these churches is black men. Even in our own black churches, even in our own churches, independent of who's running it. Black men, we're the ones that's not welcome. That's why you see so many women in these churches. You ever go to a church is full of women, barely any men? You trying to tell me that there's a place that got a ton of women and men aren't showing up? Why? Think about that for one moment. There's a place with a ton of women, many of them single, and men are just not showing up. Why? You literally can use women to sell anything. Because often black men are not welcome in black churches. But this is just me being a person that I am. I've been to a lot of different churches. I've never not felt welcome in a white church, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. But I've been to more than 50% of the black churches I've been to. I have not felt welcome. And it's always the black women that are trying to make the black men not feel welcome. It's never the black men. Never. And it's not all of the black women. It's just some. They just make you feel not welcome. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What time we got? 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to let y'all go. Nobody's chatting. The only time anybody talks is one of these bots is trying to get me into some kind of weirdo ass argument or something. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I'm about done. I don't really got much to talk about. But that, as far as I just glanced over the National Guard thing real quick. As far as that whole situation is concerned, as far as I'm concerned with that whole situation, they need to just start putting people in jail, and they need to just start arresting these individuals that's harassing the ICE agents. People forget an ICE agent's job is actually to fight human trafficking. So the fact that the ICE agents are being the tip of the spear to get these migrants out, ding, ding, ding. I'll say this again. Where was the first place that he deployed the National Guard? I'm not talking about ICE. The National Guard, where was one of the first places he deployed the National Guard? DC. What's one of the biggest hubs for human trafficking? The DMV. What's another place that he deployed the National Guards? I think second, Memphis. What is one of the biggest places for another big place for trafficking? Memphis. I think he deployed them in Portland, but I don't think that had anything to do with trafficking. I think that just has more to do with they're just crazy up in Portland. Remember, isn't Portland the place that had the black lady that was the head of the NAACP, and she was like, I'm white. I mean, it had the white lady that was the head of the NAACP, and she was like, I'm black. Isn't that Portland? So, also, I just want to add, nobody else noticed that they keep talking about all these kids that they found, and every single time they talk about all the kids that they found, it seemed like they're always talking about one of those cities that the National Guard has been deployed in. So I don't know what liberals are fighting for. I do know what they're fighting against. They're fighting against God. I have no idea what they're fighting for. I don't have the slightest idea. I don't think any of us will ever know. But they are fighting against God. That I'm sure of. I'm 1,000,000,000% certain of that. I have no idea what they're fighting for, though. is a human trafficking problem in America. And it's bad because we hear about the kids going missing all the time. The Epstein files dropped. More proof of human trafficking going on. Only Democrats are in the Epstein's files in any distinguishable manner. Like, they had a email where Epstein was complaining about Trump, and somehow the Democrats thought that meant that Trump was Democrats thought that was a reason that people should hate Trump, because Epstein was like saying Trump is a terrible person and how much he hates Trump. Like, so the Democrats they're mentally ill, and they want you to be mentally ill. Look at Jasmine Crockett. What's the latest wild shit she did? She goes in front of the House. It was the House, right? So she goes in front of, the committee, or they're having whatever meeting, and she says Jeffrey Epstein donated to, and then she goes off a bunch of names. But meanwhile, the Jeffrey Epstein she's talking about is a doctor. He's just a regular guy. He's not part of any trafficking situation. And the Democrats just gloss over it like she just made a mistake. She didn't make no mistake. She knew who that man was. I want them to sue her, but they can't. But she knew who that man was. She knew 100% who that man was. 100%. She knew 100% that was not Jeffrey Epstein. 100%. Or it was Jeffrey Epstein, but it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. She knew 100%. There was no confusion. She literally got up there to lie to her constituents and to lie to the Democrats that vote. A couple of days earlier, before that had happened, I got into an argument with somebody because they had the nerve. I told you about the argument, right? They was like, eugenics, Trump is a racist. I said, how? He says he uses eugenics against black people. I said, who? He said, Jasmine Crockett. He says she's low IQ. I said, I think she's low IQ. What are you talking about? You got to give a better example than that. She's low IQ. And then his argument was, she's a lawyer, and she's yeah, okay, whatever. She went to a place and she learned some things, and then they gave her a degree. Okay, I know a ton of people that have degrees that I would never let them use their degree in any field that it's supposed to be in for me, because I know that they did not earn it, but they do have one. That part. In any regard, why a couple of days after we had that argument, that thing happened with Jasmine Crockett, and then why he hit me back a couple of days after that, like, yo, my bad, we was arguing. Yeah, nigga, I was right. You could have just said that. You could have just said, yo, my bad. I know she is an idiot. I don't care that the person didn't. I don't really care. But he could have said that. Yo, my bad, yo. Because whereas I could have just started pointing stuff out even before she did that foolishness, I didn't feel no need to, because I wasn't trying to attack the person. It's just like, fam, we having an honest conversation over here. Let's have a real conversation. Don't tell me insanity. Let's have a real conversation. If you over here telling me insanity, how we gonna have a real conversation? Jasmine Crockett, intelligent, how? Don't tell me about stuff that happened when neither one of us was there. Tell me about stuff that we know about that happened. Like the stuff she's actively doing. Why they catch her on a lie every time she go on the news now? Every time she goes on the news, they catch her in a lie. I'm going to tell you why it's happening. Because before Trump was president again, and before Trump came down on the news networks, they were allowing Democrats to come on their platforms and say a lot of stuff that was misleading and not correcting them on it. So that's why a lot of you guys out here voting public, whenever somebody like me or somebody else try to have a conversation with you about a thing, y'all bring up stuff that never happened. And then y'all want us to explain stuff that never happened. Y'all want us to explain stuff that's lies, that ain't the truth. How the hell am I going to explain it to you? I'm telling you it's not real. And for whatever the reason is, the voters don't get mad at the politicians that give them these lies that they come out here in the real world and spew. I would be so pissed. You have no idea how angry I am at people when they lie to me about something and I believe it. You have no idea how angry I am. I'd rather just never speak to you again, to be honest with you. That person, I believe that lie. Ah, man, I got to stay away from that individual. But y'all Democrats, elected officials, lie to y'all every day. So Trump didn't want the Epstein files to come out because he's in it. What Trump said is that the Epstein files is going to ruin a lot of people's lives unnecessarily. He really didn't want them to come out. Y'all went and said, he's in the files. All he said was, look, I haven't seen everything, but I've seen some stuff. And it's going to ruin people's lives that probably, and his point was, he's going to ruin people's lives that probably really didn't do anything. Their name is just in the file. They probably didn't even do anything. They wasn't even involved in whatever, the bullshit. They just, was doing regular business with him or whatever the case is. They're going to get destroyed. And what did the Democrats tell y'all? He's in the files. He doesn't want to release them. Then he releases the files. It doesn't have anything bad to say about Trump. Now, why aren't y'all holding y'all elected officials to the same barometer, to the same scale, to the same criteria that you was holding Trump? Trump just got mentioned in the email, and y'all made it seem like he can't be president no more. These other niggas is asking him for money. Hakeem Jeffries, as he lied about it. In any regard, we might do a live tonight. If I do a live tonight, we might do a live tonight. But gaming, we might do a live tonight. I don't know. We might do a live tonight. I'm only getting off right now because I gotta make lunch. I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna get off right now. I gotta make lunch. I want to go to the bathroom. I don't know. So I'm gonna go. But look, I don't know. I like this morning, with the exception of the people that was coming in here. I don't know what they're talking about. People be coming in here just talking crazy in the chat. I don't be knowing what they talking about. I'm gonna tell you they tactic they use. The first thing they do is come in and they say hijack, and then they act like I know them. I don't be knowing them. They just act like I know them. And like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they use like a fake name or somebody that I probably talked to a couple of years ago or something like that. Then they come back, they fake the name, pretend to be the individual or whatever the case might be. And then they act like they know me. And then they just start saying things that I might remember. And then they start just going all the way off the deep end, saying random shit that don't make no sense. I'm going to say this one more time before I go. Fam, I am not messaging myself on the chat. I'm also not having nobody else message me on the chat. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm just literally not gonna do that. Now, if you just want to figure out a way that I'm doing stuff because you hate me so much that you just got to make things up in your brain, then there's nothing I could do about that. That's a mental illness. You do know that, right? I mean, you might not know that because you're trying to convince yourself and the people around you that I'm doing things that I'm not doing. But I know you have a mental illness. Like, if no one else knows, I know. And you know that I know that you have a mental illness. And I'm telling you how I know unequivocally, factually that you got to admit, because I know for a fact that I'm not doing that. So I know you have a mental illness. You get it? This isn't me pretending I'm not doing something that I am doing. This is me literally saying that I know you have a mental illness because I know that I'm not doing it. You understand? So that means our conversations, our interactions, anything that ever happens with us in the future is never going to be anything other than me looking at you, knowing that you have a mental illness. And that there's something wrong with you. I'm just being honest. There's something wrong with you. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag BBNNETWORK. Hashtag, I don't know what I'm out. Just this whole thing. There's something wrong with you. Just so everybody can understand. There's somebody accusing me of sabotaging my own network. I don't know why they would think I would want to sabotage my YouTube channel, but there's somebody accusing me of sabotaging my own YouTube channel on purpose. And they don't think that that's something wrong with them. Like, the thing that they're accusing me of would be sabotaging my own channel. You understand? Somebody do something outside. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to show you something real quick, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. So you can just understand how insane this is. Because sometimes when you tell people stuff is crazy, you gotta show them why stuff is crazy. Because the other side is just gonna keep arguing whatever nonsense they talking about that don't make any damn sense. I'm gonna show you why this is crazy. Why don't I just show you? I want you to look at my page real quick. Hold on. This is I need. Now, for anybody here that understands hard work, you'll get it. For y'all people that don't think hard work is a big deal and y'all don't understand hard work, y'all gonna think it's not no big deal. I get it. But for everybody, oh man, I want to see this. But for everybody that understands hard work, you're gonna get it. Let me show you something. I have 8,800 videos. Now, granted, I've erased hundreds of videos. I don't want to say 1,000, but there's a good chance I've done erased like over somewhere between 1,000 to 2,000 videos for random different reasons over since 2016 I've been on internet, right? Random different reasons. So somebody thinks that I did all of this work. Now, out of the 8,800 videos, at least 4,000 of them to 5,000 of them are edited videos where I had to do editing and voiceover work and a whole bunch of other crap. They think I want to do all of this freaking work and then just sabotage my channel? That's why I said they got a mental illness. They think I want to do all of that work and then sabotage my own channel. And they so sick in the head, they over there trying to figure out how that's a thing. Now do you see why I said mental health problems? Also, I gotta erase a ton of those videos because it messes up my algorithm because I have too many videos on the page. You should never let your videos get over like 2,000-3,000 videos on the page. It should never go above that. You can mess up your algorithm. So I have to actually erase like at least 6,000 of those videos. I need to probably erase like 7,000 videos, to be honest with you. You see what I mean? Mental, and I was just looking at my screen, fam. Somebody gonna say I was just sexing. Mental illness. Fam. People be mad at me. I'm gonna tell you why they be mad at me. So in private, they be talking crazy about me. They be like talking crazy about me, lying on me, saying I'm doing stuff I'm not doing, all types of different stuff. I got this one lady that she loves always calling me a liar, trying to manipulate me, so I never do anything she wants done. Nothing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I don't be lying. What happens is this: I'll agree to do something and then they treat me badly. And I say every time I agree to do something, the worse I get treated. So I'll agree to do this, y'all start treating me bad, and I'll be like, all right, fuck it, I still do it. Then I agree to do this, and y'all just treat me worse, and then I'll be like, all right, fuck it, I just keep doing it. Now after that happens like 10, 15 times, what are you gonna start doing? They're gonna treat me bad. Now you're all the way down here. They're gonna treat you bad. They gonna ask you to do something. You're gonna agree to do it. Then they're gonna treat you bad. Nah, fuck that shit. I do it when I do it. And there's not a thing in this world that could happen that's gonna change my mind. It's not a manipulation you can think of. You should have just dealt with me like a friend, like how I was dealing with you. Y'all could have just dealt with me as a friend. Y'all decided to deal with me different ways, and I saw on you. Somebody in here earlier came in and tried to get me to say something about whether I was still recording football games or not. I don't know. And I'm saying I don't know, saying I don't know if I want to. Just so we can be clear. I don't want to do stuff unless I could do it the way that I want to do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I already have to take a lot of concessions. I really just wanted, I really would love if we could have somebody on the sideline with their phone, just taking video footage or whatever. Somebody just like, you know, because remember, I'm volunteering all of this stuff. Remember that part. I'm not getting paid for anything. Just so we can be clear. So that's why I looked at it like from now on, I'm not going to volunteer. They have to ask me. So for whoever's asking about if I'm filming for them, if they ask me, I'm not volunteering to do it ever again. But if they ask me, then I'll consider. They're not going to ask me though, because then, you know, they would never do that. So I'm most likely not going to be filming any more football. But if they ask me, I'd consider. If one of the adults involved asked me, I would consider. Just so we can be clear. I don't think they appreciate what I do, and I don't think they look at me well. And I think they look down on me like I'm a vagrant or something. So I don't want to do anything for them. I'm just being honest with you. I think they look down on me like I'm a vagrant, like I'm an undesirable. So no, I don't really want to do anything for them. Being honest with you. I am gonna finish the stuff that I got, you know what I'm saying? But every time I start working on that stuff, I start getting angry at the way they treat me. So I stop working on it. I'm not a scientist. I'm an artist. And the thing about artists is we work depending on how our emotion and how we feel and our emotional connection to whatever the art is that we're doing. That's how artists work. So I'm not a scientist. I'm not a whatever you thought I was. I'm an artist at my heart, in the deepest crevices of my heart. And I need to be in a good mental state, in a good spiritual, physical state to do some of these things that people are asking of me. So when I'm doing something and people are treating me badly, that doesn't allow for me to be able to do the thing the way that I'm an artist. I'm an artist. You making me not want to be at a place is just going to do that. You understand? There is no element of you treating me bad and then something good is going to come out of it. I promise you there isn't. I don't think that's ever happened in my life. So I don't know who I did that was. So I hope it worked out for whatever y'all wanted it to work out for. I don't know who I did that was, but I hope it worked out for whatever y'all wanted it to work out for. Yeah, pretty much. I might do some gaming later. I might come on with some gaming later in the afternoon or at night. I'm not 100% sure, but we might do a little bit of gaming later. I feel like talking today. I need to get off right now. I need to round me up something. I'm gonna make tacos today, but I don't got no lettuce and tomatoes. I want to make tacos. I think I got some potatoes. I might chop up some potatoes. I got a Cornish hens. I got a couple of Cornish hens in there. I got some stuffing. I didn't eat nothing for Thanksgiving. I mean, I ate like I regularly eat, but I didn't go nowhere. I didn't go nowhere. I didn't try to reach out to nobody, nothing. I don't really care about that type of stuff. If somebody would have invited me to something, I might have went, but I don't really care for that type of stuff. I don't really care for anything where there's gonna be groups of people at. I don't really care. Why? So they could be talk crazy about me. That don't make sense. So I don't really care. With that being said, I guess I'll holler at you guys later. I don't know. I might do another live. I don't know. I might do another live later. I don't know. Yeah, but back to the other thing. Y'all want me to do a thing, and then I don't work that way. I'm an artist. I don't work that way. I need to be in good spirits. I need to be in high spirits. I need to be that way in order for me to do what you want me to do. Like, I'm just being honest with you. I'm an artist. I don't know what people thought was gonna happen when they decided to just treat me horribly. You thought you was gonna bully me into doing it? That generally doesn't work in any capacity with me. And just so you know, I've literally had people that were trying to follow me around and attack me in the street. Now, when I lived in the Bronx, I didn't have to worry too much, of course. The Bronx is just different from out here. So if weirdos show up in my neighborhood where I used to live at in the Bronx and try to get people to do stuff to me, it wasn't working out for them. I'm telling you, it wasn't working out for them. You get it? It's just different. But when I moved out here, like, you could just, people just different. You could just pay people. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? Like, the morals is different. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it a stack. The morals is different. That's basically what it is. Where I lived at in the Bronx, you couldn't come up into the neighborhood and be like, talk crazy about somebody. Niggas want proof. Like, you can't say nothing about nobody and it just be a thing. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? You understand? Like, it's just totally different energy. Out here where I live now, you can just make up whatever lie you want. Everybody just gonna it's different. I don't know. I can't explain it to you, but it's totally different. I moved out here where I lived at in the Bronx. I never had to worry about homeless people. Like, I never realized how much I feel like I never used to see homeless people now. Like, compared to like now where I live at now, I feel like I used to never see homeless people. I feel like I used to never see dope fiends. Like, that's how I feel. I'm just being honest. And I lived in a bad part of the Bronx. A bad part of the Bronx. Near Soundview. Near Parkchester. I lived in a bad part of the Bronx. Near Watson Ave, Rosedale Projects. East Bronx River. I lived in that area. It's bad. It's way worse than where I live right now. It ain't even a comparison. I'm just being honest with you. It ain't a comparison. But I barely remember ever seeing any homeless people. And I barely remember ever seeing any crackheads. Not to the capacity I see them now. And it's like, it's crazy. And they always like, and they always walking up to me trying to talk to me all the time too. So that's another reason why I don't talk to nobody. They always walking up to me trying to talk to me, trying to like start a problem. It's crazy. Never had that problem. Like, never, nowhere else, living nowhere else in New York City, I've never had that problem. Never. Like, I've never even lived anywhere and people thought bad about me, fam. Like, this is totally new. I've never lived anywhere where people had a negative idea of who I was. This is only here. That's why I tried to tell y'all. When you, like, it's sad, but there's just certain places where they hate God. So anytime you show up with any of those principles, any of those morals, pushing any of they just hate God. It's just it. So when I showed up, you already know, because I've been pushing God way before I moved out here to Coney Island. All right? There's going to be people that's going to pretend like, nope. We used to have a show called, hold on, I'm gonna just pull up the proof, of course. After talking to that one woman that always say I'm lying about everything, like, it just makes me not believe people. Like, it makes me not trust people. I'm just being honest with you. Because I know how honest I am or am not. So once you start thinking I'm not honest, I just don't believe nothing you talking about ever. I'm just being honest with you. Hold on. Look, just so we could be clear, because there's going to be people that's going to say I'm lying. 2 years ago, Sunday morning service. BBN. 2 years ago, Sunday morning service. We're going to find one even further back. Watch. 2 years ago. 5 years ago, Sunday morning service. I wasn't living in Coney Island. Was I? Shit, is that Coney Island? Is that my other that's my other, I think that's my other, yeah, this is Fat Face Me. This is my other laundromat. So I used to do lives in the, I'm going to show y'all some of this so you can understand. I'm going to break this down real quick. So I used to do lives in the other laundromat I was in, but in that community, they liked when I did lives. Oh shit, y'all can't see what I'm looking at. So I used to do lives in other, I used to do lives in the other laundromat, but in that laundromat, this is a Mother's Day lives too. Happy Mother's Day.
Good afternoon by now. Trying to be safe.
I used to do lives in the other laundromat, but they loved when I did lives in there.
And you ever defend yourself, we throwing you back in the slammer.
Look, you notice how there's no noise, no nothing?
Go out there and be everybody's whooping boy, Takashi.
Notice there's nobody talking in my background.
Yo, what up, Darryl McKinnon? That's what you think is going on? Nah, man. All these dudes already been talking crazy then, man. You can't say he don't got the right to defend himself or speak his point.
Look, no noise in the background. No people trying to talk over me. No nothing.
Coming to the BBN network.
That's Fat
They
Face
just
Me.
messed around and some kid saw Takashi. That's it.
Look, no noise in my background. Now, when I do a live up here, you see how they always trying to disrupt it?
But I just want to I'm not gonna harp on that, but I'm just saying, pay attention to the people who do this. Wait, hold on. Did y'all see when something like went at the feet and little TJ grabbed on? Shout out to homeboy about to save little TJ.
Look,
how about that? Can we find
no
out
noise in my background.
He snitched. I am not.
No noise in my background.
Where all the channels that was talking about Jack Cross give out bad information. Where they at?
I must have been right about something.
You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all though.
I was right about something. Look.
I've been talking to them behind the scenes. They have been reaching out. They have been calling and checking up on the daughter. I don't know how long she said that happened, but she did say that happened.
Must be talking about
wasn't trying to contact them, just to come to find out that they have been in contact. This is private life. Let's just keep it a stat. Often when we talk about celebrities, people say that it's fair for them to keep their private life.
I think they talking about Tekashi and whether Tekashi was doing something with his daughter. And at one point, the mother was saying Tekashi wasn't trying to reach out to them or whatever. But then it was found out that they were trying to reach. Oh, that's all that crap was about. But I've been doing Sunday morning service, Sunday service. And this is just a laundromat one, so we wasn't really talking about the Most High. But when we talk about God, I've been doing this forever. This is back when I was in the Bronx. Everything I've been doing, I've been bringing God to the people, fam. The problem is, the people who lie came to you before you got a chance to know me, and they lied to you, and then you treated me badly, or you spoke badly about me. So now you need for their lie to be true, even though you know their lie is a lie. So you need some aspect of it to be true, so you don't have to feel, but you're not thinking about it the way I think about it. The way I think about it is like this. God knows. Do you get it? Why I don't care about what lie you say about me. Why you could treat me badly and I don't want revenge. I just go about my business. Because God knows. So I know you're going to be held accountable. There's no question. There's no reason for me to get upset and angry. I know you're going to be held accountable. You could always just apologize. 100% sure you're not going to do that. You could always try to correct your mistake.
100% sure you're not going to do that. But God knows. The other day I had to put somebody on the hook for something. They asked me to apologize to somebody about something that I wasn't wrong about, and they don't even understand. They put themselves on hook for the transgression that was committed against me. I'm going to say that again. They asked me to apologize for something that I was not wrong about. Instead of standing by me, they decided to go and have me apologize for something that I was not wrong about something that I did not do. Putting them in the side of the transgressor. If they told y'all the truth about how energy works, because they explain it in the Bible a ton of times. If they told y'all the truth about how energy work, you'll know why our neighborhoods are doing so bad. You just know. If they just explain to you how energy works. You wouldn't let your little boy play with that little boy. You wouldn't let your little girl play with that little girl. You just wouldn't let them. If they explain to you how energy works, you would never have your child apologize for something that they did not do. You would never have anyone apologize for something they did not do. If you understood how energy works. The reason why the easiest way to say this without getting into anything, the reason why our hood is like this is because all of the haters are here. See, in order for good things to happen to you, you have to help and want good things to happen to other people. I'm going to say that again. In order for good things to happen to you, you have to help and want good things to happen to other people. So not just go through the actions of helping a person be successful, but in your heart wanting them to also be successful. That's why the hood is the way it is. Because most of y'all don't want no good for nobody else except for yourself. Most of y'all are busy trying to stop other people from succeeding. The sins of the father. Need I say more? So all of the sins and all of the bad deeds and all of the hate that you've been shipping out into the world, where do you think it's going to land at when it boomerangs? A lot of it is going to land back at the feet of your children. Because they're benefiting from this bad behavior. You get it? So I don't want to benefit from anybody else's bad behavior. You understand? Now, if it's they did something bad that I have no association with and I benefit, that's a blessing. But if I'm a part of the situation where they're doing something that isn't what they're supposed to be doing and I benefit, that's a curse. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. People don't never want to talk about stuff that matter. People always want to talk about stuff that don't matter. And then once you're smart, everybody hates you. So you can't be smart either. Everybody hates you, especially black people. All people, once you're smart, they hate you. So I don't know what to tell people. Play dumb your whole life. Don't do like me. Just always let people think that they got the upper hand. Always let people think you don't know what you're talking about until you don't got no choice. You got to be mindful of, the Bible even says, be mindful of the people that you help. Because some people you're going to help them and they're never going to appreciate it. And you're not supposed to help them. I'm going to say that again. The Bible speaks on being mindful about who you help. Hold on. Could I find the passage? Let's see if we can find the passage. Where does the Bible say be careful about who you help? Because I know people are going to say I don't know what I'm talking about. The Bible encourages helping others, but also warns against enabling irresponsibility and advises being careful not to fall into temptation yourself. Passages like Galatians 6:1 tells you to restore someone with a spirit of gentleness, but to watch yourself or you may be tempted. The Thessalonians 3:10 says, notes that if a man will not work, he shall not eat, and suggests it will be harmful to enable laziness. While Luke encourages inviting the poor or marginalized feast, blessed become the praying. This is not necessarily answering my question. The first one did. Yes, this absolutely. Temptations, absolutely. Avoid hypocrisy. Be a good steward to your resources and consider the impact of your help, but remember that ultimately all you have come from God. The Bible encourages helping others, but it's also important to do so wisely and with a good heart. What did I just say a minute ago? It's not just the action, it's your heart. It's a good practice to ask wisdom from God on how to help others in the best way possible. We don't want to go deep into AI. Screw AI. Not screw AI, but shout out to AI, but we're not doing that. I'm not going to go into this, but the Bible talks both about doing good to those who treat us badly. Yeah, I get that. Ooh. And that has a check there. Look. Brothers, if someone is caught in a trespass, you who are spiritual should restore him with a spirit of gentleness, but watch yourself, or you may also become tempted. Carry one another burden, and in this you will be well fulfilled in the law of Christ. So we haven't found exactly what I was looking for, but we did find a couple of things that bordered on what I was trying to say. Specifically, right here where it says to restore, the Bible encourages helping others, but also warns against enabling responsibility, careful to tempt yourself. Where did it say? True stewardship, be good to resources, to consider the impact of the help, but remember that ultimately all you have come from God. That is kind of lending to what I was saying. And the Bible encourages helping others, but also important to do so wisely and with a good heart. Now, also, just so we could be clear, what do I keep telling y'all every time I get ready to go edit that? I get so pissed off at what happened. My heart is not in the right place as that is in regards to that. So I'm just not doing it until it is. That's the best way I could put it. Until I feel like it is, I'm attempting, just so we can be clear. But I'm really upset over this. And just so we can be clear, I'm not upset as much at the food thing. I'm upset at everything that happened after. Because the food thing was just disrespectful and whatever in word. But everything that happened after, the dude running on the field, the people saying I threw food at people, everything that happened after, them wanting me to apologize for something that I did not do. For everything that happened after. And while people are probably thinking I'm dying to, no, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm fine if those people never talk to me. You don't get me. If you think I care and you do not get, I'm fine if those people never talk to me again. I promise you. Wish them all the best. There's literally no hate. Zero hate. But I am 100%. And I know there's people clipping stuff and sending it to them. I'm 100% fine with never speaking to any of them ever again. 100% fine. Not the thing I would choose. But I'm 100% fine with that. Because if you're telling me to choose you or God, I'm going to choose God 100% of the time. And I think this whole thing is a spiritual warfare against me. Just so we could be clear. But this is spiritual warfare. You guys just got in on the wrong side of the equation, in my opinion. But this is spiritual warfare. I'm literally choosing God over you people. I know you don't get it. But that is what's happening. I'm telling you that's what's happening because I'm the one doing it. I know you believe in your brain you could just think things and then that's really the way that I feel. But that's called gaslighting and manipulation, just so we can be clear. Narcissists do that. I'm pretty 100% sure that this is what they're doing. But I want to be clear on this. Every single time I went the other way, it was because in those instances, y'all made me have to choose between you and God. I am never going to choose anything over God. Just so we could be clear. And if you want me to choose you over God, that's between you and him. That don't got nothing to do with me. Don't worry, he'll pull up sooner or later. But that's between you and him. That don't have nothing to do with me. Zero. Yeah. So I'm gonna choose God 100% of the time. And you're like, how is this a situation where because it's spiritual warfare I'm going through? When people just start accusing you of things that you didn't do, when people just, the little slightest thing that you do, they trying to blow it up into something like this. What do you think that is? That's spiritual warfare, fam. That's not just a random thing happening. That's not just a random thing happening. I promise you. Once again, and this is not a knock on any of the individuals involved. This is just me explaining what happened. Try to hand back the plate, wouldn't take it. Try to hand back the plate, wouldn't take it. Went like this, nobody would take it. Drop the plate, turn around, and went back to what I had to do. That's it. There was no throw in. There was none of that. None of that happened. None of that happened. I'm looking for my Bible. I really need to clean up better in here. I have everything everywhere. I have no idea where to put my Bible. I have no idea where to put my Bible. It's usually in arm's distance. It's usually like right in arm's distance. I have no idea where to put it in any regard. Put it somewhere. I'll find it. Well, whenever I do find the Bible, I am going to swear on the Bible. Whenever I do, it's gonna be a different show apparently. As God is my witness, I did not throw any food at any woman at any place when we were at any time during any football game or in the middle of or on the day of, and I didn't do any of that. All of that is a lie. As God is my witness. Yeah, so spiritual war. Why do you think they keep coming in the chat talking crazy all the time, just saying stuff that ain't true? So I'm having a whole show is just about me saying things ain't true that ain't true. Spiritual warfare. I think I still have the Silk City game. That game was a long time ago. I might still have that game somewhere. Right now, I'm working on... The only game I've been working on is the... Downtown Giants game. That's the only game that I've been working on currently. I might still have that Silk City game somewhere, though. That was a while back. I might still have that somewhere. I don't know. But remember, I was live streaming most of those, and I think it's better when they're not live streamed, but it's work when they're not live streamed. When they're live streamed, that's not no real work. I'm just standing there just filming. You understand what I'm saying? But when it's not live streamed, that's hours and hours and hours of work, and the people don't even appreciate me for it. You understand what I'm saying? So it get done when it get done, fam. That's hours and hours and hours of work. Like, this isn't something that I sit down and do in 20 minutes. You understand? Like, I'm editing the video footage that's 4 or 5 hours. Easy. On the low end. And if I'm doing any extra graphics or any extra stuff, like, that's a long time. You understand? And people just treat it like, you know. That's why I'm pissed. Just for anybody that's curious. That's why I'm pissed. That's what I'm pissed. Imagine dedicating hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of your time to someone, and they treat you like it's not that important. They said they don't even really, we don't need it anyway. Like, they treat you like that. Not the kids, but the adults treat you like that. Oh, we don't need that anyway. Nobody asked you to do it. I'm literally only gonna post that one video. I'm being honest with you. I'm gonna be so honest. Because the two kids, and I don't want to say their name because I don't want them to get in trouble, but because of the two kids that asked me to post it is the only reason why I'm posting it. And because of Manny. He gave me a nice interview at the end with all of the parents, and the parents on the other team, the Downtown Giants, was coming up, and they were just so happy that that's the only reason why I'm posting it. Because they already told me that they never asked me to do nothing. They don't need me to do nothing. Basically, everything I'm doing ain't shit. You know? Like that. Like, we don't need you around here. Get out of here. Like that. Like, that's the way I feel like they was treating me. You understand what I'm saying? We don't need you out here. Get out of here. We ain't asked you to do nothing. Like that energy. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know what they're telling everybody else. But when they talk to me, they're like, we don't care. We don't need you to do nothing. Like, that's how they talking to me. You understand? One of them is saying it with that energy worse. And the other one is saying it nicer, but the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? But one of them is straight like, we don't need you to do shit. Like, they talking to me like that. You understand what I'm saying? That's the energy. You understand what I'm saying? While the other one is saying, well, you know, we never asked you to do anything, so we don't owe you anything. While the other one is talking to me like that. You understand? So however y'all feel that sound like manipulation to me, fam. However you think that feel. So I don't know what they're telling the world. Shout out to what they're telling the world. I don't have the slightest idea. But that's what they telling me. And you ain't gonna manipulate me into anything. So it is what it is. I wish they would have handled the situation differently. I wish they would have thought more of me, I guess. You know? If they would have thought more of me, they handled the situation differently. Everybody be a lot happier. You know, but they have a right to handle the situation however they want to handle the situation. What the fuck am I? We don't need nothing from you. Nobody asked you to do anything anyway. Okay. I don't know what you thought I was going to do with that. As light as I did. You're going to tell people I'm lying. I don't care. God saw. See how that work? I don't care what you tell people. God saw. So I don't care. I don't care if everybody believe you. God saw. See how that work? I don't care. I don't care what evil people decide to do to me because of whatever lie you tell. It is what it is. God knows. You know how many people are going to go to hell because they decided to live on the world manipulating situations instead of being honest? They thought they were good people. But then they come up against a person who's actually doing something that God wants done, and they just get in the way while being good people. They just get in the way. God sends somebody to come help you, and you tell them that you don't even want the help. Imagine that. Imagine God sending somebody to come help you. Like, you don't think God spoke to me, like, and was like sent me in that direction? You don't think that's what happened? You don't think God has also told me that I have no more obligation to you guys? So, I have no more obligation to you guys. See, before I had an obligation through my covenant with God. So I had an obligation. I don't have no more obligation due to my covenant with God. So yeah, all of those, y'all thought I was just over there helping? Yeah, I help because I like to help. Don't get it confused. But God sent me. And he sent me in the manner that even when I didn't want to help, I had no choice. Literally had no choice. But then, because of my covenant with God, he's not going to force me to be in certain situations. That part. tell you, people don't really know what the Bible is saying. Then when y'all see the Bible in application, y'all busy, I think it's luck. I'm literally the Bible in application. Do I do some things that God would want us to not do? Well, of course I do. I'm human. None of us are perfect. There's no person living on this planet that doesn't do something that God doesn't want them to do. So, that part. So while you try to point at things that I might do, where you like, this guy's, they said no man is good. No man can be good. We literally can't be good. You understand? It's the attempt, the effort, your heart. I'm literally out here applying. I'm so much of the Bible in application. Do I fail in aspects? Absolutely. 100% do. Do I do things I probably shouldn't do? Absolutely. 100% do. I'm not saying I don't. But so much of my life is a living testament to the applications of the Bible. And when you know and you still shit on me, that's a slap in God's face. Like if you know anybody has God's hand on them and you're purposely shitting on them after you find this out because God makes it obvious. And God's made it obvious for you guys, even in ways that I don't know, but I know. So, I don't have no more obligation. If I want to, I can. If I don't want to, I don't have to. Right now, I'm looking for where God is obligating me to be. I talk to him every day. I want to know what's the thing he wants me to go do next. I'm going to go do it. He doesn't have a thing right now for me to go do. I'm kind of bored. Well, I'm just sitting around waiting for the next thing that God wants me to go do. That's it. I wished everything would have turned out better. I hope everything works out for whatever goes on in the future. I hope everything works out. I'm no bad bones at all. No bad energy or negative in it at all from me. None at all. Not even a little. Hope everything works out. Hope everything works out. Like, why wouldn't I? Yeah. Hope everything works out. Why wouldn't I? I know they probably think that because their heart isn't the same like my heart. So they can't probably understand them treating me as terribly as they treated me and me still wanting for them to be successful. But yeah, no, still want you to be successful. I get it. I get it if you think I'm lying, though. But I mean, I get it. I was there when you was treating me bad. I get it. But no, I want you to still be successful. There's no reason for me not to want that. The kids win. I want the kids to win. Shit, I wish I could be a part of what was going on over there, but I can't be a part of that because I don't like the way I'm being treated. And you're going to try to convince me that there's nothing wrong with the way that I'm being treated instead of treat me differently. So, there's nothing to talk about. Once again, once again, maybe they thought I was supposed to stand there and hold the plate forever. I don't have the slightest idea. I don't know what they thought I was supposed to do. I don't know. Maybe they thought I was supposed to go throw the food in the garbage, because so then somebody could say I'm throwing the food away. I don't know what they thought I was supposed to do. I don't know what they thought. I have not the slightest idea. But tried to hand it back. Nobody was gonna take it. Dropped the plate right where it was at. Turned around, walked away. That's it. Didn't throw food at nobody. As God is my witness, I did not throw food at anyone at whatever Saturday that was at the dang game for the football team. I didn't throw food at anyone. I tried to hand the food to one person. They did not take it. I tried to hand the food to the other person. They did not take it. So they then dropped the food dead in front of me in the direction of 0 individuals. Hand to God. In Jesus' name. Amen. These people are liars. And I pray that God gives all of us everything that we deserve in this situation. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. You have no idea how angry I am over this. You have no idea. It's taking everything that I can not to say certain words. You have no idea how angry I am over this. With that being said, I'm going to let y'all go. Everybody have a blessed day out there. Go out there in the world. Do something worth doing. Stamp God's name on it. We've been doing videos since 2016. We've been talking about God since 2016. It's not going to change over here. I wish good for everybody. The people who want me dead, the people who don't. The people who are wishing bad on me, the people who aren't. I want good for everyone. I want everyone to receive the thing that God wants them to receive. Period. I'm out here literally showing people how to get to your blessings. Satan is lying to you, telling you not to pay attention to me because they don't want you to have my mannerisms. Because my mannerisms, God, in my opinion, my perspective, the things in which I do in this world in my mannerisms is keeping me in the light that God wants me to be in so he could love me the way that I want to be loved. Get in the right side of God. All of us have blessings attached to our name. Some of us more than others, but all of us have blessings attached to our name. Stay away from the people that tell you you can't. Stay away from the people that tell you you can. Hang out with the people that tell you you will. Because can and can't are probabilities. Will is a definite. So you hang out with those people that say will. You stay away from those people that say can and can't. Because I can't do nothing, but I will do everything that I'm supposed to under my name in the Most High and under the Most High by my name. And when I say by my name, I don't mean by my name. I mean by my name, like next to. You gotta explain stuff like that. I realized when I said it, it could have been a little bit confusing. And I know that there's always people trying to take my words out of context. So when I said by my name, I meant the rewards and the blessings that are next to my name. You know, in the book of life. You gotta all the way explain people. You gotta all the way explain when people are intending to misinterpret you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you ever have people that ask you stupid questions? Like, somebody comes into my chat and they're trying to disrupt my chat, and then somebody else asks me why they trying to do that. Like, how the fuck do I know why they trying? Pardon my language. How do I know why they trying to do that? Like, how would I know that? Like, how are you holding it against me that I don't know why some weirdo is gonna do weirdo shit? Like, how am I supposed to know that? Explain that to me. Like, comment, subscribe, join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you, and that's all I got on this one. I have actually forgotten about you. Not in that manner. I think you're a terrific person. But God had something set up for me that he wanted me to do. And I think that we were supposed to go do. And it's not important. And I wish sometimes I wish I can see other people's conversations with God. A lot of times y'all talking to God, y'all don't even know y'all talking to God. You just think you complaining, but you be talking to God. Or you think you're just saying stuff out loud. You understand what I'm saying? But you don't know you talking to God. You understand what I'm saying? You just don't see it. So I would love to know some of the responses that God gives, or back to people. Sometimes I be thinking, like, why did that person do that? Sometimes something be genius, and they be like, thank God. And I'd be like, why did that person do that? That was genius. Like, I would love to be in the room when that thought came about, because it's basically what it is, right? And I think the same thing when I see people just think insanity. I'd be like, I would love to be there when this person was convinced of this thing that makes absolutely no sense. Like, I would love to be there. Like, did they convince themselves, or did the person convince them? Like, did they just hear a thing and just go off the deep end and say, this is what it must be? Or did the person actually have to do work to get you to believe the insanity? Yeah, I'm always curious. I'm always curious.